Welcome to our first episode of Hope Collides. I want to talk about something today that's that I'm especially passionate about, and that's human trafficking. Again, my name is Jason Wood. I'm from Western New York. I work in Northwest Pennsylvania, and I work with teens. And I want to let kids know that there is the hope of Jesus Christ, and they are loved and valued. Well, today, talk about human trafficking. There are about 40 million slaves in the world today. Human trafficking is defined as the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their works or services, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. Now, 200 American children, that's not including the adults, but 200 American children are at risk each year. And that's just with sex trafficking. That's not even including the labor trafficking. Traffickers are often charming people, and they target the hurting and marginalized. They help them feel valued. They can be groomed online or in person, but lately it's been more online. Traffickers will make these hurting people, especially teens, feel like they care about them, and before they know it, they're being sold. And many times they'll make false promises like, hey, if you come with me, I'll make sure your life is happy. If you come with me, I will make sure that you always get what you want. And for the kids, that's what they look for. But then once they have them, they'll make threats against them or even their families to help keep them, for lack of a better term, in line. They will threaten to hurt or kill their family. In West Virginia, there was a mother who started trafficking her daughter. She got her daughter hooked on heroin, addicted, and in order to get her fix, the daughter would have to perform acts for money and bring the money home to her mom, and if she didn't do that, she wouldn't get her fix. So not only did her mom endanger her life, sorry, I know this is tough, but not only did her mom endanger her life by getting her addicted, but she endangered her life by forcing her into human trafficking, and that's her mother. Now, here in Jamestown, there was a woman who would take underage girls up to Buffalo and sell them in hotels during the day. So what's happening here in Western New York, I want to take a moment to talk about a girl from Arizona. On September 15th, 2019, Jessica Nunez went into her daughter's room and found a note that said, I ran away, but I will be back, I promise. Jessica Nunez had a daughter who was autistic, and she was 14 years old at the time. Her name was Alicia Navarro. And Alicia had been talking to someone online, and eventually that person she was talking to online convinced her to leave, but also told her she would be back. Well, Alicia was never back. Every once in a while, she'll pop back up. People will recognize her all around the nation, but in the beginning, she was not that far away from her home in Arizona. And the thing is, it was extra hard because of wearing masks. When they might recognize her before, now the masks hide their face, hide at least this part of their face, and it's a lot harder to recognize people. Now, in two of these instances, the traffickers were women. And then the third, the Alicia incident, we don't know. 40% of traffickers are women, but that percentage is rising. But the number of traffickers around the world is rising as well. Human trafficking is a $150 billion per year industry, second only to illegal arms dealing, and it's the fastest growing industry in the world, unfortunately. Trafficking victims, they'll often live in subpar conditions. They might look dirty, but that's not always the case. Likely, they won't make eye contact with anybody. The victims are led to believe that what they want doesn't matter and that they are getting everything they deserve. That's the unfortunate reality, that they are being manipulated to not being able to see their value, not being able to see that people love them, not to mention Jesus. And likely they won't talk much. They will either be coached by the traffickers, or the traffickers will do the talking for them. Again, I just want to say most traffickers are very intelligent and charming people and know how to groom and how to coerce girls into doing what they want and coming with them, or guys in many cases. They're very charming people. Let's say, for instance, there's a group of 5 or 6 girls, we'll say 6 girls in the mall, and a trafficker sees them, he'll come up to them and he'll say, "Oh, you girls are beautiful." And 4 of them say, "Oh, thank you." And the other 2 kind of keep their head down and don't say anything. The trafficker then knows that those 2 girls are who he needs to start talking to. And he will start making them feel really good about themselves, which is not a bad thing. We need people to see that they are loved and they are valued. Many of us could take a lesson from the traffickers in that way. Unfortunately, after that process is over, his motives are not pure. And he will take them and he will traffic them. He will sell them sometimes in their own town. Sometimes they'll take them outside the United States. There are thousands upon thousands of children being brought into the United States each year and thousands taken out of the United States each year. The day that human trafficking is most prevalent in the world is Super Bowl Sunday, where they will bring all these thousands of trafficking victims to one city, the city and the surrounding area of wherever the Super Bowl is, for the week, and they will sell them. And unfortunately, it is the most profitable day for human trafficking of the year. Now, I have a theme verse for this group called Etc., which is the End Trafficking Coalition. Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted and to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness the prisoners. See, I was given this passion to help people with human trafficking. The Sovereign Lord gave me this passion. I want to educate and encourage others, especially teens, to love the brokenhearted, to see how they can help the captives and recognize the signs of trafficked prisoners to bring them into the light. The mission statement of Etc., again, End Trafficking Coalition, is to bring and instill the hope of Jesus to the young people of our communities. Etc. is to educate and bring hope. It's the coalition because we can't do this alone and we need a group of people to come beside us. So I hope that you learned some of the signs of trafficking victims, and I'll try to come back with more. But for now, I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I hope this motivates you. Thank you for watching Hope Collides.